Okay, I'm going to try to make this video short, and I don't write scripts, I just talk on my own. So, and also right now I'm a little short of breath because I've been a little sick lately, and it's not because of climate change. But anyways, I want to talk about this climate change walkout, using these kids as political pawns. I'm not criticizing Greta Thunberg. I feel sorry for Greta. This child is being used, and this is not a good thing to be doing to kids. I mean, she's literally afraid that our world is going to end in the next decade. And see her talking that way to adults. I mean, when I was a child, if I talked that way to an adult, my mom would have shown me the back of her hand. I mean, I never would have gotten away with talking to an adult like that. But these kids are being used by the UN and Democrats to spread this crap. And they've got these kids literally terrified. They're saying they're not going to get a chance to grow up. They're afraid that the world's going to end before they grow up. And on that note, I gotta say, to anyone out there who is Catholic, you need to demand the resignation of this Pope. If he were truly religious, read the Bible, he would know the Bible tells us exactly how the world is going to end. That there are specific signs, and some of these signs are already in place. Now, I'm Baptist. I have nothing against Catholics. I have a couple of friends who are Catholic. But this Pope has got to go, and y'all need to demand that. I don't want him hurt. I just think he needs to resign, and y'all need to get a Pope who preaches from the Bible, not from politics. But that's slightly off the point. But this is causing this worldwide panic, mostly among kids. I mean, in the 1970s, they said we were heading for another ice age, and now all of a sudden we're heading for a meltdown. And the thing is that now all the predictions over the last 40, 50 years have not come to pass. In fact, what some of you don't know, that up in the north, there's more ice up there than when Titanic sank, which I have another video on that. I'll try to link it here later. But when the Titanic sank, for those of you who don't know, it was 1912, April. That year was a very severe iceberg year. This means it was warmer. See, icebergs are caused when you have high temperatures that melt the glaciers, and these icebergs will break off the glaciers and be floating around there. Instead, that year was a really severe iceberg year. Normally they get about 400 icebergs during iceberg season. That would be between about February to July. And it just so happened in 2012, the 100th anniversary of the Titanic, they saw fewer icebergs than normal. Which is pretty ironic. That means it's getting colder because the icebergs are not breaking off these glaciers. Again, I'll try to remember to put my other video about that. I made it about a year ago or so. And I'm not criticizing Greta because she is disabled. I know she's autistic, Asperger's, or it's either one or the other or both. And somewhere I heard she also has OCD. I myself am half deaf, And my boyfriend is in a wheelchair. I have volunteered with children with Down syndrome. In fact, I've long been talking about adopting a child, and I would probably prefer a child with Down syndrome. Girl or boy, I don't care. But I just really don't understand how these people can look in the mirror and be okay with how these poor kids are so scared. I mean, they're being treated by psychologists now for climate anxiety, I think is what they called it. They've got kids coming in terrified. I mean, if the glaciers were melting at the range they say they are, why is Venice still there? I mean, already the city's sinking. Well, it should be a water world by now. I mean, it should already be gone. That's how much ice, you know, all these glaciers, if they melted, that's how far up our ocean to go. Venice should be a water world now. It should be uninhabitable. You know, it will eventually be uninhabitable, but not because of climate change, because it has been sinking since it was built. This is why they're trying to cut down tourism. But I see these kids screaming and literally terrified that they can't have dreams, and I don't understand how you adults can be okay with this. I just really don't get it. You know, I feel sorry for these kids. I'm not angry at the kids, they're being used. I feel sorry for them. They've given up on having dreams, and the ironic thing is they're saying they're not going to have kids. Well, guess you don't have to worry about that if you don't think you're going to grow up anyway. Unless you're planning to get a 10-year-old pregnant, I hope not. So, I think that this whole climate change thing has gotten way out of hand. The fact is, the Earth's temperature has always fluctuated. I mean, the Romans recorded much warmer temperatures, while after the fall of the Roman Empire, the medievals were recording lower temperatures. I mean, the temperature is going to fluctuate. That's always happened since the beginning of time, and it doesn't matter if you believe in the biblical creation or evolution or whatever. It's always changed, and it always will. So, these kids need to be having fun. They need to be going to school. They need to be following their dreams. If they want to be a musician, they should be looking to become a musician. If if they want to be an actor, they should look to becoming an actor. An astronaut, do it. And it's a damn shame to see Greta has given up on her dreams. Well, I'm not going to let my nieces and nephews or my future children give up on their dreams. Because this whole thing is nonsense. Every one of their little predictions has proven untrue.